My world, our world may keep changing, but I'm not going to let the days blur together anymore. This is my awakening. No backing down, no matter the obstacle. I stand for those who make up the fabric of my life, where I come from and where I'm going. I stand for my loved ones and for myself. My mission is to change the word challenge to opportunity. And my goal is to live without limitations. Let's make a declaration together. Our future has no boundaries, no limits, no ceilings. I'm opting in, signing up, and raising my voice. Today is the day I recommit to my shine, to reaching out and digging deeper inspiration, to shouting out loud when I need help and when I can give it, to ensure that all of our voices are heard and the person behind each voice is served. For myself, for my community, for our health, and for so much more. Because my promise is to live fierce every day. There's strength in possibility, strength in numbers, and new opportunities are going to keep on coming. With the American Heart Association by my side, I'm ready for them because we live fierce.
Good afternoon, everybody, and I'd like to take a moment and welcome you all to our Women's Healthy Hearts at Home digital event series. My name is Laura.
Oh. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We are so thrilled to launch this. Sorry, guys, my dog is barking in the background. Cooper, no. You know, meetings at home, you just got to go with the flow. So we are so thrilled to launch this special digital series for all of you, our valued Go Red supporters. Healthy Hearts at Home is designed to bring you the latest and greatest health tips and tricks to keep our hearts healthy and strong as we find ourselves spending more and more time at home. It is such an important time to be engaged in a cause like AHA's Go Red for Women movement, because it is about joining together and encouraging each other to make health a priority for ourselves and those around us.
Today, we have the good fortune of hearing from two of Houston's top physicians at Baylor St. Luke's Medical Center, our wonderful Healthy Hearts at Home sponsor. Also, we're going to learn healthy ways to dine at home from our friends at True Foods Kitchen, and we'll get a chance to have questions answered in engaging breakout sessions. So make sure that you stick around for that. Before we dive into our discussion, I just want to take a moment and share the incredible work the AHA is doing in our community to address food insecurity, which I know is at the top of everyone's mind during these trying times. Nina and I were so moved to support and get more involved after hearing about the impact that AHA is having. Prior to the pandemic, the food insecurity rate in Harris County was 14%. Now that number is expected to jump to more than 20% by the end of this year. Two AHA leaders who are working hand in hand to address these issues and more would like to share a bit about their work. Larissa Jacobs, Vice President of Community Impact at the American Heart Association, and Dr. Pamela Wells, Executive Director of the Region for Education Center in Greater Houston, have already made tremendous strides in our Houston schools.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Wells, for being with us today. We are so grateful for you to share your knowledge about the community and especially your perspective and your point of view and what you see in your role, not only with AHA as a volunteer leader, but also with the school district and your vast network there in your Region 4 role. So If you would you introduce yourself and tell us how you've become involved with AHA?
Sure. Thank you so much for inviting me. As you said, my name is Pam Wells, and I serve as the Executive Director at Region 4, and I have the honor of also serving on the AHA board. I think when I joined the board, one of the things I was most impressed with was the focus on the social determinants of health, because those are exactly the same determinants for a successful student. So as an educator, I was so pleased that that was the focus of the work of the AHA.
Well, thank you. We certainly value your perspective and rely on you a lot as a thought partner in a lot of our community work. On that note, we would love to talk a little bit about our community impact work at the AHA and kind of how that's relevant with the current needs right now in Houston. In your role with Region 4 and in your vast experience with school communities, what needs have you seen emerge in the community?
So I think even more so with the pandemic, the issue of equity of education for children is such a huge issue. And a lot of that has to do with activity as well as health and safety. But I think the thing that keeps me up at night the most is the issue of food insecurity. We have about 45,000 children, at least, in our Region 4 area who have not shown up to school. They're missing students. And we have about half of the students, about 50% of the students, who are actually learning virtually. Many of these children ended up getting food, sometimes 3 meals a day from their school. And so now they're really not able to have that, and the food insecurity has increased so much. The schools still have that food available, but it's very difficult for families to get there when their children are not riding to school. So the whole issue of food insecurity, to me, is one of the greatest challenges for families and for our community.
So thank you so much. I know that some of our reliable sources nationally are stating that food insecurity is essentially doubled as a result of the pandemic. So hearing you say that is both sobering and meaningful in terms of the work we could be doing in communities. You've been really working closely with my team, and we're so grateful for that partnership and for your leadership. And we would love to hear from you today just on a few of the ways that AHA has been involved in addressing some of those needs that you see.
So there are many more examples than I have time to be able to share, but I'll share just a couple of them. Recently, we were so pleased that in Deer Park ISD, the AHA provided not only 30 CPR kits for utilization in the schools, but also created some watering stations. And this was not just important so that students could have healthy choices for what to drink, but it also helped the health of the environment so that children were not drinking sweet drinks and utilizing those plastic bottles as well. In addition, in Conroe ISD, there were hundreds of boxes of fresh food, fruits and vegetables that the AHA helped to distribute. And for children who have food insecurity, for families, we know that fresh fruits and vegetables are critical when they live in food deserts. So pleased about the work that was done in the schools there. And of course, the third ward initiative that the AHA is working on, which is not just in the third ward, but in other parts of the community too, to not only help with fresh fruits and vegetables, but even to help with the work that is being done to help people learn how to cook and how to provide for themselves, especially those who have diabetes. So appreciative of all the work that the AHA is doing, and each of the things that are done to help families in our community help the children who are part of those families.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Robert McCormack. I'm the brand chef for True Food Kitchen. True Food Kitchen, for those of you who don't know, is a full-service restaurant. We've got two locations in the Houston area. One is on Post Oak Road, just north of the Galleria there, and then the second is a little further north in the Woodlands Town Center. And we're open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner. And really, the premise of the restaurant, it was founded about 12 years ago by Dr. Andy Weil and a restaurateur based out of Phoenix. And the premise of the restaurant is really to make delicious whole food from scratch that is actually more, sort of beneficial for your body. That also tastes really good too. So the idea being that when you come to the restaurant and eat, you should leave feeling much better than you did when you came out, both mentally, physically, and just more satiated and having a lot more energy than you would, say, if you went to go get pizza and a couple of beers down the street. So really, in that video, I love seeing the pictures of all those different vegetables sort of coming in. Really, our menu's based around whole foods and whole vegetables and cooking from scratch and using, no preservatives and using organic produce when possible. So really, things that help sort of benefit the body, the cardiovascular system, mental health, all those things that we need to kind of get through the day, especially days like we're having lately in 2020 here. So really what I wanted to talk to you about is not so much the restaurant itself, but more the philosophy that we sort of follow and how we can sort of apply that into the home kitchen too. And so obviously we've all been cooking at home a lot, and it gets a little tricky, if you have kids and, two working parents, and it gets a little dicey kind of planning those meals each and every day, 3 meals a day sometimes. I've got 3 kids myself, and it really boils down to planning and kind of getting ahead of everything and looking at the whole week as a whole. And so, when we're approaching sort of, it's Saturday, Sunday, and we're looking at the week ahead, not to take too much time from your weekend, but really just to kind of look at, what's the game plan here? Are we going to go out at all throughout the week? And if so, kind of pull that day out. And then, prior to doing your shopping for the week, really kind of dig in. And like Monday is going to be, pasta and vegetables or whatever it may be. We always do taco night here at our house. So Taco Tuesday, kind of keep it healthy and keep it fresh, kind of go with, a vegetable side rather than, like the heavier rices and beans and things like that. But anyway, kind of looking at each day of the week and kind of having a little bit of a game plan. That way, it can be real easy to just be kind of working from home all day and kind of snacking and kind of grazing throughout the day and never really feeling full, but also not feeling like you have a lot of energy too. So really to kind of pace out your meals throughout the day as you're doing it. And, the better plan you have, the more you're likely to kind of stick to the plan and not kind of stray away and have excuses and get tired. Another thing I always like to tell everyone is really to kind of stay hydrated and get a lot of sleep too, especially during these winter months where, the flu is going around, especially this year with all the different stuff happening with the pandemic. And really to stay hydrated, stay rested, and that'll help you sort of control your appetite as well. If you wake up, with minimal sleep and you're not drinking enough water and stuff, you'll kind of feel these cravings and be irritable and looking at not eating in the right sort of pattern throughout the day. So those are just kind of a few sort of things I look at when cooking at home and eating at home and working from home all the time. Also look at when you do get to the store is, we really pride ourselves at the restaurant of cooking seasonally. And we do that for a few reasons. Being a chef, it's always, the produce that's in season is always going to taste a little bit better, typically because it's growing a little bit closer and it's a lot fresher. So there's been a lot less days in between when it was harvested and when it's, ends up in your home or being prepared for your family. So usually the flavor is much better. It's usually a little bit more cost effective too. You'll find that, if you're looking for berries, berries this time of year or, into the winter months, or tomatoes is another great example. Number one, the flavor and quality is going to come way down, but the price is actually going to go up too. So you're really kind of, it's kind of a lose-lose situation there. So as you get closer to the warmer summer months, strawberries in particular, and tomatoes for sure, the zucchinis, squashes, the summer squashes and things like that become really inexpensive. And then you'll see less and less of the hardier winter vegetables. But now, you can walk into any sort of, market and find Brussels sprouts in the middle of July, which is just mind-boggling to me. But they're usually woody and they have this big stem in there and they don't really taste that great. So, and they can be a little bit more pricey too. So really to kind of look at that, and there's plenty, you Google seasonal vegetable chart online, and there's any kind of different printed version you can hang on the refrigerator just to kind of get a sense of what's out there. One that I like now is pomegranate. As soon as you walk into like a given Whole Foods or any one of those nicer grocery stores that are kind of lean towards more seasonal produce, the pomegranates are always there, bright and center, and it's kind of a messy fruit to sort of get apart and get seeded. But once you have it, really a ton of great antioxidants and immune boosting pieces that are in there that really like super refreshing snack for the afternoon instead of going with the typical, whatever you might have in the afternoon, but really kind of a healthy way. And then really vegetables can kind of sometimes look like they're time consuming or maybe a little bit intimidating to the home cook, but really to just get ahead of it. Again, do the planning, prep a little bit ahead of time so you're not all saving it for 6 o'clock. If you can do a little bit of chopping and prepping in the morning before you head out to work, then you can come home and put a few last minute touches together. Keep it simple. Either just kind of simply like at home here, I just do like a lot of olive oil, salt, pepper, maybe some fresh herbs, and just grill some different things out on the grill real quickly. Or just use your oven, get a nice sheet pan, cook some vegetables with a nice extra virgin olive oil, and kind of just do a light roast. And keep it real simple. You don't need to kind of overthink things, but really the important thing is that you're eating whole foods that have a lot of the fiber still in there, that don't have anything processed, and things that are really contributing to your health and well-being, but taste good too. And then where you're eating sort of things that are maybe prepackaged, processed, come with their own sauce, things like that. Those sort of things may taste good and be super convenient, but they're really not contributing anything to kind of making you feel better, sleep better, or any of those things too. So just a couple of things to sort of keep in mind. And there's a handful of different tips and tricks to kind of use, but I always, one of the cooking oils I like to use at home is actually an avocado oil. It's got a lot more monounsaturated fats, a fewer polyunsaturated fats, and in general, saturated fats in general. So it's a great just cooking oil. So take a look at your pantry is always kind of like the one spot to do a nice analysis of and where you're looking at, because those are the things that you have the most of and sort of use multiple times in several different sort of recipes. And, look at the different, look at the labels of the bottles that you're using for sauces and things like that, and make sure that they have, some good clean ingredients on there. If there's anything you don't really recognize, you might want to think twice about using that in a future recipe down the road. And then once you're done with the pantry, kind of look at the refrigerator and kind of same thing, do some analysis. I always like to modularize things a little bit. And so keep your pantry set up, and then do your produce shopping maybe once or twice a week, and then, sprinkle that in with a couple of different proteins, some fish or some meats and things like that. So planning, I guess, is really the summary of the whole piece. But I think I'm out of time, but thank you all for inviting me. It's great to share some tips with you, and enjoy the rest of the conference. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Robert. That is really good advice on how we can all incorporate some healthy ideas into our diets. So thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Liz Youngblood, and I serve as the president of Baylor St. Luke's Medical Center. I am very proud of our longstanding relationship with the American Heart Association, and even more proud of our sponsorship for Go Red for Women. Our Healthy Hearts at Home program is designed to bring all of us information about what we can do to stay healthy while at home, especially during this pandemic. Our next topic is called Doc Talk, and I'm very excited to introduce to you two of our top physicians at Baylor St. Luke's Medical Center, Dr. Brianna Costello and Dr. Stephanie Coulter. So ladies, I'm going to turn this over to you.
Thank you so much, Liz. Brianna was in the room with me, and she's just moving to another room because we didn't want the echo. So we're going to talk today a little bit about like staying healthy during the holidays and what we can all do to make ourselves less stressed and eating good. In fact, I love that the last chef was on. It's like my favorite restaurant, and I want him to open one up over here in the Rice Village area because we would all go there, and it's kind of hard for us to get to the Galleria area, but it's like the most amazing food. And now me and Brianna were like, let's go for lunch. Oh, there you are, Bree. So one of the things that's super important for, during this period of COVID is to get enough sleep, to exercise as much as you can. Because quite honestly, this pandemic has brought out so much anxiety and so much depression. And those two things have a very large effect on our health. They encourage us to drink more alcohol, to eat more bad food. And we're isolated because, well, we can't do the things that we would normally do to make ourselves feel great because, well, we can't go out, and we really shouldn't be, and I mean shouldn't be, collecting in multiple person, settings because, well, the virus really is amongst us. And our numbers, as Liz and Brianna know, they are slowly creeping up. They're not surging up, but they're really slowly creeping up, which tells us that the virus really is circulating in our community. And you just really don't know who's going to have it. There'll be, even amongst doctors and our colleagues, there'll be like a little mini outbreak where, 10 people in a, related to one pod of physicians or healthcare workers get infected, and we let our guard down. We have masks. I mean, Liz, you should see the back seat of my car with how many face shields I have in there.
Mine too, in the cine room.
Seriously, I feel so guilty about it because we have so many of them, but we really try to be as healthy as we can, where I personally will only dine out if it's an outdoor setting or we get to go food a lot. I'm cooking more at home. I've been using, grocery delivery services much more than I ever did before. It's a really great service. But the other thing that I can say to help with the holidays and during this entirely crazy bedlam year of 2020 is that exercise matters more than ever. So here's my
what are you telling your patients, Dr. Coulter? Because I know that a lot of my patients they come in and their biggest complaint is,
their gyms are closed.
Yeah, my gyms are closed. I used to go to a fitness class 3 or 4 days a week, and now I can't. So I think
I have people that have been swimmers. I had a lady this morning that was a swimmer, and she's afraid to swim in the pool club, and it's too cold now, obviously. So. Right. I'm for all activities. So I'm for, my daughter has, when she came home for the month, she was doing core power yoga with her instructor in Nashville on Zoom. I did it with one day thinking that it wasn't that much of a workout. And guess what? It was really hard.
Yeah.
So even yoga can be strenuous. There are classes online. You can do things at home, but remember, the weather's lovely now. I ran this morning. Even if you're not a runner, if you're a walker, you can walk with the mask on. It's really hard to run with the mask on. I've got to tell you. I mean, like if I'm not by myself, I pull it down because you just can't get enough oxygen. I'm for bike riding. I'm for walking fast. And in Houston, this is the most perfect weather for going outside. So there's no excuse. Many people are working from home, so they're not having a long commute. So I'm giving them, I just saw a lady and she was like, well, since the pandemic, I'm working from home and I'm not exercising. I'm like, honey, you got way more time than you used to. You need to get back after it. So Brianna's right. There's a lot of impediments that we find to excuse ourselves from exercise, but here's the deal. It's good for your brain. It's good for your body, and it's the best for anxiety and for depression. It's a natural antidote to everything bad in your body. So make that a priority. Eat healthy. Don't eat a lot of processed food. Go to bed on time. We recommend, Brianna, I want you to talk about it, but what kind of supplements are we recommending for prevention of COVID? So we are kind of recommending some supplements.
Yes. So, nothing, if there was a magic pill, everyone would be taking it. But there are some studies, and vitamin D is pretty benign. So we say just take some vitamin D. There's some suggestion that it might be helpful in preventing COVID. There's some data that is weaker, but it's benign, it's over the counter, and it's easy to take. So do whatever you can to try to stay healthy. But as Dr. Coulter said, sleep. Your immune system is going to be your best friend. So if you're not healthy at baseline, you're not sleeping enough, you're not exercising, you're going to, if and when you get COVID, it's going to be harder for your body to fight it. And the other thing is stress in your life. A lot of my patients, a lot of them say, look, I'm not used to being home, especially home with my spouse all day long. And I don't know what to do. So part of that I tell them is, well, then getting active is important for you, because that's going to be an hour of your day that you can get out of the house and be by yourself and think and meditate or whatever you have to do to feel good. But you're also being healthy at the same time. The weight gain has been a big complaint with a lot of my patients. I've gained 10 pounds. It's because of the activity, of course. But, a lot of our weight issues for all of us come from what we're eating more than what the activity we're doing. And that's just the reality. So you're home more, you're going to probably snack more because you're in your house. If you're at work or you're busy doing something out of the house, you don't have time to do that. So, try to set limits on yourself. Like, oh, why am I going to the kitchen for the third time this morning? Do I really need to have a banana right now? Like, I'm not hungry. So just check, make some mental checks for yourself to stay healthy in the foods you're picking. And, have those healthy foods available. So don't have the granola bars on the counter waiting for you. Maybe have some cut up or a bowl of berries on the counter for you. So if you have to snack, you don't go for that carb rich and sugar rich food. You go for the healthy food and the healthy fruits if you're going to sneak snacks in. But getting active is important for your mental health. Trying to stay as healthy as you can from
You hear us? I'm recommending that people take at least 2,000 to 3,000 international units of vitamin D a day. In general, people are very vitamin D deficient in our society. And one of the thoughts that why, people of color are at greater risk from COVID may be because people of color have even lower levels of vitamin D. So I have never seen anybody with a high vitamin D level at this point. The human was made for walking around, farming and gathering food. And the skin is the way you absorb vitamin D, and we're just not out in the sun. And when we are, we're all wearing sunscreen. So I'm a big fan of the vitamin D. I'm a big fan of the vitamin C. Some people are recommending zinc for, prevention. The other thing for pandemic, take your cardiac meds if you're on blood pressure meds. There are some data that suggests that the medicines that we use for blood pressure actually block the receptor by which the virus invades the cells. And it's been shown that patients that take these blood pressure medicines actually do better when they get infected from the virus. So we are not, even if I took many phone calls this last weekend and during the Thanksgiving holidays from even elderly people that had been diagnosed with COVID and calling in asking what should they do and when they're sick. And the main thing is to drink enough, to stay quarantined, take all your regular medicines and check your blood pressure and monitor your oxygen saturation rate, which is a simple thing that you can buy at the pharmacy or CVS or Walgreens. Which is this device that monitors what your oxygen is in your bloodstream. So if you do have the virus, you really are best staying home as long as you're feeling well and not having difficulty breathing, because really there's really no treatment at this point for mild symptomatic COVID disease. And we're hopeful that the vaccines are going to be delivered soon. And maybe, even Liz could talk about, because we're about to roll out a plan for vaccinating our healthcare workers on the front line. Probably in the next 2 weeks, I'm hoping we're going to be able to start. Is that true, Liz?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Actually, in the next couple of weeks, I think on the 17th is the first EUA meeting. And once the first vaccine gets approved, I think about 5 or 6 days later is the second vaccine will have its EUA meeting, which means it'll be available for our use hopefully by the end of December or perhaps early January. And the really good news is that there's a lot more vaccine that's going to be available than we originally anticipated. So, so good news all the way around.
Yeah, it's a game changer once the vaccine is released. Remember that the vaccine, when it's released, everybody's going to need, because we're pretty much going to get the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccines first. And those are the new technology for vaccine, which are, we call them RNA vaccines. And they require 2 shots about 3 weeks apart. And they're the ones that are going to require, super cold refrigeration. And we have all the refrigerators. We're pretty ready to go to help deliver these vaccines. And once the vaccine has been thawed out, you've got 5 days to use that vaccine unless you keep packing it with dry ice. And if you keep packing it with dry ice, you might be able to extend the life of that vaccine for 15 days, as I've read. So we're going to find ways to use these vaccines very, very quickly on people that are going to really want the vaccine. So I'm definitely going to take it. Hopefully I'm in the first crew, because I do a procedure that exposes me to aerosolized particles, which is really one of the higher risk features. So I'm not afraid. I'm happy to do it. And I think we're all going to be on the front lines, eager to take that vaccine. There have not been really any safety concerns that we've seen so far. And hopefully it'll have a big impact in getting us back to a healthier 2021.
Agree. Well, thank you guys so much. Dr. Coulter and I are honored to be a part of the Go Red for Women events, and look forward to the next time. We hope you guys stick around. We'll have a breakout session at the end, each of us, where you can ask us your burning questions, and we will be happy to candidly talk about what you might be thinking. So back to you guys.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Jess Ski-Varghese. I am the founder of WellSpace Texas, a corporate wellness company that brings chair yoga, meditation, and other wellness services into the workplace, into conferences. So I'm excited to be here for the Go Red for Women campaign. And I want to show you a few different chair yoga moves that you can do to just get your blood pumping and just get your heart working, to take a little pause during your day. So join me. You just find a spot on a chair that lets you sit up tall. So we'll go ahead and get started. And then take your hands to your knees, bring your knees over your ankles, and just start to roll your shoulders back. So your shoulders draw up towards your ears and then roll back. And then circle in the other direction. And then release your hands down. So hands to your knees, press your belly forward so the front rim of your pelvis tilts forward. The center of your chest lifts and your gaze looks up toward the ceiling. So you're finding a little arch in your spine here. And then as you exhale, round back. Your navel draws back. Your shoulder blades draw together. You create a C curve with your spine and your chin draws down towards your chest. So inhale, the belly presses forward, the shoulder blades draw together, the gaze goes up. And then exhale, round into that C curve, chin to chest. One more time, big deep breath in. In yoga, this is called cat-cow. Exhale, round the spine. And then come back to center. Inhale, circle your arms up. Interlace your fingers and press your palms away from you. So you may have some clothing constraints. You may have some muscular constraints. Just work wherever you're at. So you're pressing the heel of your hands up. You're going to inhale here and then exhale, side bend to your left. Inhale up, exhale, side bend right. One more time, each side. Inhale, exhale, side bend left. Inhale up, Exhale, side bend right. Good. This time, inhale, separate your hands, and then exhale, we're going to twist to the left. You're going to bring the back of your right hand to the outside of your left thigh, and then you take your left hand to your chair. Lift your spine, relax your shoulders, and then start to rotate your rib cage. So your spine starts to rotate. Maybe you look off to the side or to over your shoulder. And then inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, let's twist to the right. So we're going to take the back of the left hand to the outside of the right thigh, and then right hand to your chair, and then rotate. So again, your gaze can go off to the side or over the shoulder. So inhale up one more time. Exhale, twist. Inhale up. And then exhale, twist. Inhale up. And then exhale, release your hands down. We're going to do one last pose. It's a seated sun salutation or a version of that. You're going to take your legs wide. You're going to lift your arms up. Exhale, begin to hinge forward. So maybe you take your hands down to the floor or to in the direction of the floor. Let your head go. The back of your neck is long. You're going to press into your feet. Roll yourself up. Draw your navel in and then roll yourself up. Circle your arms up. One more time. Forward fold. Hands either to the floor or in the direction. Let your head be heavy. Let gravity do the work. Press into your feet. Roll yourself all the way up and then circle the arms up. And then release your hands down. Begin to walk your feet in and take a moment. Take your hands to your thighs. Let your shoulders relax and just close your eyes for a moment. Or let your gaze go soft. And can you notice the physical effect of having moved just for a few minutes? And begin to open your eyes. And I want to thank you all for practicing again.
Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. I thought that was so much fun. Now it's time for us to head over to our breakout rooms, and we get to chat with Dr. Coulter and Dr. Costello. They'll be there to answer any questions that you might have. And just so that you know, you do not need to do anything. You will just be automatically directed to your breakout sessions. Thank you guys so much for joining us.